many people we got?
Thanks to everybody. If you are logging in early, we're going to be starting in just a few minutes. But I always like to know where you're logging in from. So we have chat open. We'll be checking chat throughout the webinar. So if you have questions, go ahead and post them in chat. But if you have a second, say hello. Let me know where you're logging in from.
Hello, hello. I'm Kat Shepard, as you can see here. Oh, we got somebody from Northern Virginia. I love it. I
Welcome.
like to do also because we know we're talking about people who are in business. Not only did you say where you're from, but tell us a little bit about your business so we can learn a little about you. You never know who is around and who may benefit from knowing about your business. We ask you to share your business information at the beginning so that you can get that out your system. So when we're teaching, people aren't trying to network while we're teaching. So if you have a little bit about your business, a LinkedIn profile, website, go ahead and leave it there in the chat window so we can share that information. I love it. We have some real estate, property management, and investing. I love it. Do you have a website? Because guess what? That's awesome. June said, yeah, I'm going to give you my information. I'm a mobile notary service, emeraldsmobilenotary.com. We love it. Go ahead and put it out there. So we have some people from Virginia, Fresno, Encinitas. I love it. Okay. Hi, David. Nice to see you. Environmental septic solutions. I love it. That's awesome too. Great, great. Keep on putting it in there. Hello, hello, David. I love it. Keep this, you know what? Keep this chat alive. Please keep this chat alive because guess what, you guys? We love the interaction. And even though we can't see your faces, that chat window connects us so we can see your questions and your information. And I love it. Yes, it will be recorded, David. Thank you very much. And
Yes.
available.
Yep, you will get a copy of the recording and a copy of the slides. And that comes directly from SCORE and usually within the next day.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to put my LinkedIn there also so I can have some connection with you guys also. I'll put that in there. If you have your LinkedIn, share it also. I love connecting, as a matter of fact. Next, we're going to go ahead and see how many people we have in here, and we're going to go ahead and get this party started. We just want to get everybody in here, get everybody ready to go. And yes, we recorded, and we love the interaction, so keep it coming. I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Kat Shepard. I've been with SCORE for over 10 years. I love SCORE. I'm a volunteer. I'm also the district director for Southern California, which is pretty cool. We have about 200 SCORE chapters nationwide. I don't know if you know that or not. But I'm also the regional director for the Western region for SCORE, and I love SCORE. I love what we do. I'm a business nerd, so you won't see me unhappy waking up doing my job every day. I love this. And we have somebody fabulous here. We have Ronnie, who is really awesome. I know you guys have probably worked with her before, and she is just a marketing genius. She is a whiz. Oh, she's good. She's real good, as a matter of fact. And I'm honored to have her here. I'm going to let her introduce herself and talk a little bit about what she does in her business.
So thanks. I also am such a big fan of SCORE. I had a SCORE mentor when I started my business. I would not be here today if I had not walked into that meeting room with the SCORE mentors. It set me on the right path. I didn't know what questions to ask, and they don't do it for you, but they guide you so that you are creating a really strong foundation for your business. So that was decades ago. So for me to go full circle and now being a presenter for SCORE, it's like my favorite thing. So these days, I'm called a digital creator, content creator, anything visual. That's what we do, and that's why I'm so excited to share this webinar with you today.
I love it, love it, love it. So I see a lot of people here. If you just came on board, we asked you to do some small networking at the beginning. I see Kathy Donovan, Marina. I see Mohammed. I see a lot of people, Rob, Serena. Make sure you put your information at the beginning of the chat. Tell us a little bit about your business, because once we start talking, we want you to shut down that networking and focus on the course. So if you could put your LinkedIn, your website, talk about your business, this is the time to do it, because guess what? We can save these chats later. So you'll have that information. You never know who you're going to connect with. So again, thank you. If you have any questions during the chat, me and Ronnie will be team teaching today, and we'll be looking for that information and passing your information and answering the questions in the chat also. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and get this party started. You know, AI is a wonderful thing. I remember when AI first came out. Let me make sure you guys can see my screen. Is that good? AI is a strategic partner. Okay,
All
good.
good, Kat.
Oh, thank you so much. I remember when it first came out and I geeked out and was on AI night after night when it came available to everybody. And I have been working with computers all my adult life since way back. I'm not going to say mainframe. Oh, I said it out my mouth. Since the mainframe days. If some of you know what that is, if you don't, whatever. But I've been working with computers a long time, and I am truly a business nerd. And when AI came out, I could not wait to tell everybody about what was happening with AI and how you could use it. And sometimes I would call my customers and say, "Hey, you could save some money here by using AI. These are the things you can do with it." And I had one customer tell me, "Okay, I'll just have you do it. That's okay." And I was like, "No, for real, you can save a lot of money." And she's like, "Oh, that's okay." After I spent an hour on the phone, I was like, "This is what you can do." She's like, "I'll do it." Now people are adapting to it a lot more. So hopefully you are adapting to it and you're using it. Give me a one if you're using AI at least once a week. Just type a one in the chat window if you're using it at least once a week. Just give me a one. I love it. I love it and I'm proud of you. This is awesome. And I know some people are using it daily, and that's awesome too. But you can actually use this to do good. I like to hear that because AI doesn't replace you. It does a great job. It can be your strategic partner, and that's what we're going to be talking about. AI as your strategic partner. It doesn't replace you. I've worked with AI. I'm pretty good at business, but sometimes you have to talk to it and critique it a little bit because it will go off the deep end, right? So you have to bring it back and bring it back to your business. One of the things I'd like to start off with saying before we start talking about the whole topic of having a strategic partner in AI is you need to make sure that you're talking to it and understands what business you're in. And when I say what business you're in, it needs to know some basic things about you. You need to paint the context of what it is. And there's a couple of things it should know. It should have a business snapshot of you. I'm going to give you a handout because this predates what we're talking about as far as this course is concerned. But I'm going to, at the end, give you a digital handout and how you can actually talk to chat to make sure it understands your business as a whole. It needs to understand your business. Business are you in? What do you sell? Who you primarily serve? Is this a product based, service based, combination, your revenue range, things like that? It needs to also understand your ideal profile as far as your target customer is concerned. And again, I want you to sit back and relax and just kind of take this in because I don't want you to have to write copious notes. Just kind of think about, well, does AI know about this before I start asking questions and before I go deeper? Does it know who my ideal profile is? Because again, it needs to know who you're targeting and it can help you to fine tune that too. It needs to understand your brand voice and your brand position. That is very important because if it doesn't understand your voice, I had one customer say, that doesn't really speak to me because my brand voice is a little bit more this way, a little bit more casual compared to that brand voice. And so I fine tuned her brand voice too, so that all of our marketing and literature and communications and blogs and website, everything, emails, would sound like the customer would sound. So again, it needs to understand your brand positioning and voice. Again, the tool I'm going to give you that you're going to take the time to work on and fine tune will help you to position your voice and your business priorities. Because if it doesn't know your priorities, how can it be a strategic partner with you? So again, all of this predates giving this strategic interaction and creating a strategic interaction with AI and constraints and boundaries. Yeah, you're gonna have to set boundaries because AI will. I have had AI go off the deep end. I was like, come back to me because you're going the wrong way. And I would tell AI and admit budget limitations, time constraints. If you have a team size of two people, then it can create this really extraordinary marketing plan. But you have to say, I only have two people and I only have 4 hours a day. Then that is important for it to know so it won't create these great marketing plans that you can't do and you can become overwhelmed, right? Any ethical or regulatory considerations, you need to let it know. Or if you have a risk tolerance. Some people have a risk tolerance. And then what is your decision making style? Are you analytical, intuitive? Are you fast moving? Are you risk adverse? Are you experimental at all? Let it know your decision making style. And then what AI should act as. Sometimes you want to act as a CFO, a marketing strategist, operation consultant, a risk analyst, devil's advocate. You need to let it know when you're talking how you want to act. So, with that in mind, I'm going to give you a tool that will help you to find that. Does that work for you? Give me a one if that works for you. Does that work for you? Because you need to tell AI who you are all about and make sure you have that. 1-1. Somebody said one. Serena said 1-1. I'm sure about it. She's like, yes, I am. Because you need to make sure you understand it understands. I'm gonna give you a tip too. If you're working in whatever AI, I may use ChatGPT today. You may use another platform. Again, some work better than others in other areas. I'm going to talk about in general things right here as a strategist. These things can work in general with whatever delivery we talk about as far as AI is concerned. All right, let's go ahead to what we're going to talk about here, and that is a strategic partner. So, working with AI, you're going to make sure that you think about that this is AI. It doesn't replace you, as I said. And you're in a moment now where AI, if you think about it way back in the day, email people said was the devil. I remember that. They Hotmail. People said, "Oh, don't Hotmail. What is that?" I remember that. And now, of course, we went on to Gmail. We're using other things. Some people feared it as a replacement to financial judgment. Search engines were accused of being weakening memory. And now we have AI. When it first came, it's like, I'm not using AI. It can be used and is not a threat. It can be used as a strategic partner. And basically, you can use this to accelerate your decision making or to give you extra thought patterns to work with, right? We're staying in the same moment as we did with AI with other programs. But the difference is this is not just a particular a productivity tool. It's not just that. It's a strategic thinking partner that can actually change your trajectory and move you a little bit faster. All right. So we're going to reframe. Oops, I went a little bit too fast. So instead of saying things like we're going to ask it to write a caption, to draft an email, or to summarize it, we're going to take it a little bit deeper. So I'm going to give you a couple of tools you can use to do it a little bit better, right? You're going to ask it to interrogate. You're going to ask it to amplify. And that's the way that you can make it and take this information and take it a little bit further. Let's look a little bit further here. I'm going to give you an example of what I am using. And let me give you a little bit here. You see here? Yeah, I think I have. Hold on. I think I have. Hold on. Let me pull up another screen here. I had it up, but I think I put it down, and that's bad. Okay, I did. Let me open up another screen for you. So I have ChatGPT, and I'm going to show you what I loaded so you can see what I did. Let me log on again because I did have it. Oh, I do have it here. Okay, here we go. So this is a previous chat that I've used, and so I'm going to start with that because in this chat you'll see where I went with it. So the first thing I did was I told it a couple of things.
Hey, sorry, Kat, we're not seeing your ChatGPT.
Oh, oh. No, you're not. Okay, let me stop share again. Sorry. Thank you so much. I think that's it right there. Yeah, that's it. Sorry. Here we go. Yes, that's it, right?
Yes.
Chat GPT.
Yes.
Okay, good. So I loaded it with a pseudo company. It's not a real company. I loaded this with a real company. So I talked about earlier, it's important that it understands a lot about your business before you get started. So I gave it a business snapshot. I gave it an ideal client profile. This is just a fake company so we can see and you can see a little bit more before we go forward. Brand and positioning, business priorities, constraints and boundaries, what we talked about, decision-making style, the role for AI in this, and you can change the roles. It doesn't have to stay with one role. and your signature products, all that information. So I gave it some information to start with so that it could understand the business as a whole. Now, I've asked it to do a couple of things, but I want to go in and say there's a couple of more things I want to show you as far as a prompt. So let me go down here and get to another screen here, and we will see another prompt that I entered. Okay, I'm going to go down. Let me switch screens here.
While you're looking for that, Kat, I want to answer a question that came up in chat. How do you get the ideal customer profile? Well, I would use ChatGPT to help you with that because you can let ChatGPT know what your industry is, what your customers now look like, and ask it that specific question. Help me write a profile for my ideal customer. I do XYZ. These are the people I've been working with. Show it some samples from your website, and it will actually work with you. Again, like Kat says, that strategic partner to help you create that.
I definitely agree with that. And you know what? Don't be afraid to say, and I'm going to give you some tips here. When you ask a question, you can say, I need to identify, this is my business. This is who I think my ideal profile is. Give me some other ideals. I always say to AI, no matter which one it is, take on the necessary roles to complete this task. Because a lot of people say, tell ChatGPT or any AI what roles to take on. Maybe you don't know the roles it will take on. You're going to learn a lot just from saying, take on the necessary roles. Do you use that, Ronnie? Do you use that at all?
Absolutely. And you'll be surprised that ChatGPT is the one that I personally use, and it will
Yes,
come up with things I haven't even asked. It does
absolutely.
work as my little buddy that sits next to me.
It is my personal assistant, and I'm gonna tell you, I've had personal assistants that cost a lot of money. I still do, but let me tell you, it is very important. All right. So I am gonna I'm gonna show you a couple of prompts, but I'm gonna give you the handout also. So don't worry about it. I just want you to kind of absorb and ask questions. I want you to look, absorb, and ask questions. So I'm saying act as a senior business strategist. This is one you could use before making, remember, I gave it a lot of information about the business first. Before making recommendations, ask me clarifying questions about my target market, differentiation, cost structure, and positioning. So this is the first thing I'm gonna do to have it help me think things out and help me plan. Once a week, I strategize with AI. At least strategy. That doesn't mean all the other things I do, but once a week I have a strategy session and I keep it in this thread. So I don't start a whole brand new thread. I stay in this thread and I keep it because it's learning about me, right? So now look at here. Look at what it's saying. I'm going to give you a brief overview, right? I'm going to ask you focus high leverage questions and knows a little bit about the business, right? And I made up this business. It's not really real. Okay, phase one. Here's the question: which brands and PR firms who is your primary revenue driver right now? Because I talked to it a little bit more. It says, and it gave me a little bit more than I asked for, right? Then question number two: what type of events are you most interested in knowing? Question number three. All right. If a client asks, why should I choose you? And then question number four. So I went through and all these questions, I just bullet answered them. I didn't write full sentences. I just bullet answered those questions. So with that in mind, and it knows who I am because even with this small amount of chats I have in this, because this is what I use for demo, it knows me. It says, okay, it goes on and says your business position, what you actually are, right? A premier experiential engagement partner for event producers and influence activations. You're not a photo booth because I told it, hey, we do photo booths, we do high-end photo booths. It says, no, this is what you do right here. Your edge is high-end, engaging brand, blah, 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 right? Your real target market, all right? Event producers, right? And influencer activation planners. I have a customer like this, so I know this is target dead on. I know this is dead on, right? Okay, this is your power. You said attendee energy, brand integration, and it just refocused that. So look how it's shaping this up and look at how it's taking it a little bit further for me. Now, my question is, I want to get this answer in the chat. What, and I'm going to stop sharing for just one section. What are you thinking about that you need help on? What is a strategic question that you need help on? Put that in the chat. I want to see if we can work with somebody else's work. And what is your strategic thing? Like, I really want to work on this. I need to help. I need some help strategy. Usually we're entrepreneurs. I tell you, sometimes when you feel like you're out there by yourself, no one to talk to. If you're an entrepreneur like me, you stay up at night trying to figure things out. If you can ask the right questions, you can get answers. What questions are you working on right? What is something, a problem, a challenge you're working on that you need strategic help on? Go ahead and write it in the chat if you can. Okay, so Muhammad says, you need help on how to approach the nonprofit sector as a fractional CFO. I love that. I love that. I love that. Somebody else, what are you looking for? What are you looking for help on? So I love that because you can actually get your questions asked that way. And I would actually, I'm gonna go ahead and type in the chat what I would ask to start that. But first, Muhammad, the first thing I would do is make sure it knew about my business before I did any of that at all. I would make sure it knew my business altogether, right? And you could use the same type of question I put in the chat window. I'm waiting for some more. Did anybody else have any? Anybody else have any? I had a person who needed to know about changing their pricing. If you're stuck on pricing, I know everybody should. I change my price. You can actually have AI become your strategic partner on price, that alone also, right? All right. Oh, Alan says corporate sponsors who want to donate to a 501c4. I love that, right? All right. So I need a strategic partner to help me with this. And here it is right here. I'm going to put this right in the chat. And if you guys have your screens open, you can try this. Okay, so I'm going to put in what I put in initially right here. Okay, so I put that. Oh, it only went to the host and parents. I'm so sorry. Let me put that to everybody. Hold on. Let me do that again. Okay, I put the prompt I put in, right? But again, only after I told ChatGPT about my business, right? So I said, act as a senior business strategist before making recommendations. Ask me clarifying questions about my target market, differentiation, cost structure, and positioning, right? So now with that in mind, you could change this to suit your needs, right? So here it is here. Just to bring it up, I'm going to see here. You guys can see my screen still. So here, Mohammed, I'm going to take yours first and put it here. All right. Okay. I'm going to say use the following as a template and improve my question. So sometimes you get a prompt and you say, you know what, I don't know what to do with that prompt. You'll have that prompt. Here it is. So I said, hey, use the following as a template and basically improve my question. I'm just going to put it in there. Let's see what we get for you, right? And let me see if that will help. And who was that? Alan. No, that was Muhammad, right? How's that work for you, Muhammad? All right, so expertise in nonprofit finance, fractional CFO strategies. I want to develop a strategy to effectively enter and serve the nonprofit sector as a fractional CFO. Before making a recommendation, ask me high impact clarifying questions, one at a time, focus on. Sometimes you could take a prompt, take your answer, say, you know what, I need this shaped for what I need. Does that work for you? Type that if that's a 1. Type that if it's a 1. If you guys see how you can use that, go ahead and type a 1 in the chat window there. Love it, love it, love it. All right, good. Yeah? Yeah, so all of you should be able to take that prompt I just put there and just copy just what I did. I did nothing more than say, I need to know how to just put his question there. And all you have to do is copy that part right there, what I did. Okay, so I have a question here. I do have access to Ventura County Community Foundation. Okay, somebody said they have the access to Ventura. Do you mean that you have access, Alan? So I would add that. I would add that to my prompt. So if you can actually clarify a little bit more, yes, yes, I would add that to my prompt, Alan. I would add that to the end of my prompt so it can have a little bit more information to work with. Okay. I think the chat is for everybody, so everybody can see what the communication is, so we can all communicate and learn from the chat experience. So you should be able to see everybody's chat, and it's just open for everybody to see.
The chat is only set to host and panelists to see the whole
Oh,
chat.
they can't see. Oh, they cannot see it. Oh, okay. I did not know that. I'm so used to working with we see everything. Okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, good. Okay, so I'm gonna read those questions back then. Okay. So, so one person, Alan, basically says he can modify his a little bit more. So let me see Alan's. Alan, I didn't do yours. I'm gonna do Alan's now, so you can see Alan. So I did Mohammed, so you guys can see Mohammed's. Now here's Alan's question. Here's Alan's question. Okay. So let's see here. He wants corporate sponsors who wants okay. I want to attract. Okay, so this is Alan's question, right? So I'm going to take this same prompt and then I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, so here is what his specialty is here, right? And this is what his desire is. I'm going to say use the following, and it's going to repurpose this for this statement, right? Let's see what it comes up with. It is fantastic. And I love to use AI like this. If you see a prompt and it's not exactly the way you want it and you don't want to have to worry about it, put what you want, say repurpose this prompt for my needs, basically. You don't have to even do a full sentence. It knows me, it figures me out, and that's why I love it. I walk down the street with my phone talking to this thing all day long when I'm doing my exercises. It's fine. And of course, I got really embarrassed because when I was doing it one time, my husband came in and I was just talking to it back and forth. My husband was like, really, really, really? Yes, really. I love talking. It's the most intelligent conversations I have sometimes all day long. I'm a nerd. I love this, right? Okay, let's see what happens. All right, so it did. It says, okay, refined prompt. Just from that little bit, you guys, look. Act as a senior business strategist with expertise in nonprofit funding, corporate sponsorships, and public affairs organizations. I want to develop a strategy to attract corporate sponsors and funding partners for 501c4 organizations. Before making recommendations, ask me high impact, clarifying questions one at a time. I love the one at a time, by the way. One at a time, right? Focused on blah, 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 blah. That's the prompt you would type in. This is the prompt. This is the prompt you would type in. All right. All right. And answer. Oh, I forgot to put in your Alan, did I forget to put in the last part of your thing? He wanted me to put in another part. Okay. Okay. So let me do this again. I'm gonna say, by the way, okay, this is what he said to put in there, and I didn't put in there. So Alan, I heard you. I forgot. There you go. Okay. So now the prompt is going to be updated. Okay. Because he said he had the database. Does that work for you, Alan? Okay, yes. So we're not showing they're not showing the others chat in this venue, but I will display the chat so you guys can see. So he asked me to add that he has access to the community foundation and a big database. So I added that to the prompt. So this is the prompt, Alan, you would put in there. All right. I love that. I love that. I love that. So you should be seeing my screen, not the chat, because I'm putting in what he asked me to put in there. All right, let me see here. Okay, so good. Let's see here. Now, let's see. I have another one here. I need to review my lease to answer questions from tenants whose responsibility it is and how. Oh, let me tell you. I am doing this for a customer now who is a friend. That's the only reason I'm doing it, because they're a friend. I put the lease, and this has been a nightmare for her, renting her house out. But I put all the leases, I uploaded all the leases and all the communications, and I showed her how to generate. So I put the whole lease in there. After I put the lease in there, then I'd ask questions. Like today, the person was late. So I asked the question, okay, when do we send a notice? When do we do this? Today, I just did that before I talked on the, I promise you, I just did this for my friend who is my customer now, right? Because she needs help. And man, oh man, it is really good. So I would upload all that information as far as this is moving very, very fast. There are slides available with recording. Okay, hold on. Let me slow down, Gail. Because I get excited. So let me slow down. Let me
And
slow
I
down.
just posted in chat, yes, everyone will get a copy of the slides and the recording.
Let me, because sometimes it's good to stop for a second because I will get carried away with this, right? The only thing I showed you was take the prompt that I used, and my prompt was act as a. I'm highlighting it right there. So if you want ChatGPT or any AI to act as a strategist with you, you could say, okay, this is my question. Whatever your question is, whatever you want help on, whatever you want help strategize on, which one person wanted help with this as a strategy. This was their thing they want help with strategy on. So I'm saying, take this information here, just like this, and tag and basically put your question in front and then paste this on the end. It's going to reshape this and make a strategy for you. So Gail, help me out here, Gail, so I can help you. What is the strategy you want help on so I can make sure to give this to you like you want it because I'm here to serve you. So tell me what strategy, anything you want help with, payment. You want to increase your payment 10%, or you want help with uh, negotiating contracts. Gail, what do you want help on? Oh, okay. Okay, good. Gail, right there. I'm going to slow it down right here for you. Okay, good. So you want help with increasing, right? So that's what you want. So I'm gonna say, okay, let's do this. Um, okay, another uh, goal for strategy on a. I'm gonna put another business. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's the goal right there. Okay, so now I'm saying, okay, this is another strategy for another business, increase bookkeeping clients. Okay, I'm just gonna leave it like that, right? Now that is the strategy you want help with. Now I'm going to have it develop a prompt. So all I'm going to do is copy this information here and put it on the back end. It's going to say use the following prompt, which is this one here, and make this prompt just
Chat, can you
dedicated for
put
this
that
data.
prompt in chat again so they have it handy?
Yes, yes, right now. It's going in right now to everybody. Boom, you guys have it. Okay, Gail, here it comes just for you. We're going to get you your own prompt now. Okay. Woohoo! Refine prompt coming up. All right, act as a senior business strategist with expertise in service-based businesses, client acquisition, and scalable growth strategies. I want to develop a strategy to increase my bookkeeping clients with a focus on attracting high-quality, recurring revenue clients. Now, if this isn't what you want, if you want an average clients or you want to change this, you don't have to keep all this here. Whatever you want, you can modify this. This is a guide. Remember, this is your strategist, but you need to tell it what you want. So if you clarify this, what? Before making recommendation, ask me high impact clarifying questions one at a time, focus on. If you take this prompt right here and put it in your AI, it's going to start asking these questions one at a time to you. Gail, do you like that prompt? Did I give it to you like you needed? Did that help you a lot? Okay, Gail, you want to also increase your booking client. You want some marketing strategy, right? Gail, is it just tell me yes or no? Did you want marketing strategy? And if you did want marketing strategy, I would just add that to the statement here. I would actually say that I want another strategy. I would say increase bookkeeping clients with marketing strategy, and it's still going to ask you these questions. I'm pretty sure that should help you guys a lot. So just wanted to make sure you understood that these are the things that you can actually do. I'm look at my time and see how much time I have. How am I doing with time?
Go for a few more minutes, Kat. That'd be great.
Okay. Okay. So my whole goal here was to just tell you that you can have it work as a strategic partner. I can go on and say all the little, great things, but there's so many prompts. There's no limit to prompts. But once you use this prompt I given you, it starts asking you questions. And that's the great thing about this prompt. It's a very simplistic prompt. But with this prompt, it's going to start asking you more questions. Now, I'm going to tell you, and I bet Ronnie can high five on this one. Sometimes it starts going down a rabbit hole and takes you down a path, and I'm like, stop, just stop. And I say it just like that, like, you're doing too much. I tell you, you're doing a lot right now. I need you to stop. I talk to it like it's my friend. I need you to stop. You asked me that already. Let's move forward. And this is what I want, because sometimes it could take you off on a tangent. Make sure you use this and basically rein it in, because I have had it go crazy on me, and it starts going way off. I say, hey, I told you, it's only 2 people here. It's only 5 people here. There's only 1 person here. This is too much. Let's fine tune it and get it right in here where
Hey,
we need to
Kat,
get it.
in chat. So Gail is asking, why is it giving her questions instead of the answers? It's giving you questions because it wants more information so it can give you a better answer.
We asked it to be a strategic partner. See, Gail, I love that you asked this question. This is very awesome. And I want everybody to listen in on what I'm saying. This whole class was about asking it to be your strategic partner. Now, what we don't want to do, and what the old school way of going is, just asking questions and coming up with anything. How can it give you the exact what you need without asking questions? It needs to know your ideal profile. It needs to know your service offerings. It needs to know. So if it doesn't know those things, then it can't give you an adequate answer. Now, if you've already answered those questions, then we're good to go, right? But you wanted to, and you should always have this information locked and loaded so it can actually give you the right answer. Otherwise, it's bad information you're giving. You're giving limited information, so it can't give you a very precise. So you want to fine tune it. The more you can give it, the better, clear your answer can be. So you want this back and forth. I
And
love that
that
question, Gabby.
I love in the prompt it says, give you the questions one at a time. So that way you're not overwhelmed. And it makes you answering much easier.
Yeah, and sometimes they get off track. You need to tell it to get back on track. I can't say that enough. It starts asking questions, but if it goes off and say, hey, let's get back on track. But these questions you definitely need to answer. It's very important. All right. Yeah. So after it gets done, after it gathers the responses, you're going to get the answers. So bottom line, Alan says, so bottom line, I'm going to tell you what Alan says. So bottom line, it's okay to ask ChatGPT if it could act as a senior business strategist. Absolutely. You want to be a strategic. I say strategic thinking partner, by the way. I say strategic thinking partner. But it will come back and say I'm acting as a strategist. It will do that, right? All right. Hey, Gail said this is a new format for me. Yes, it is new format, because guess what? We want that interaction. We want to get the back and forth. A lot of people are just asking questions and getting without getting the fine tune. And this is fine. Who doesn't want their marketing or their business information fine tuned? All right, good. I love it. And then, yes, it will go from there and give you the answer. What you wanted to do is you wanted to pause and reflect, gather perspectives, analyze any if you ask better questions, you can get better answers. And that I believe in totally there. I am going to go back to this presentation because it's really important. And we can ask a lot of questions, but let me go back to the slideshow here. Okay. If you ask better questions, you're going to be able to pause, reflect, gather perspectives, analyze any root causes. Those are things you can do. You can weigh options. Again, we're not just trying to get the fast answer. We're trying to get fine tune it and get perspectives. Some things you may not think about. You're like, oh my God. Sometimes I'm walking and it's talking to me because I use the audio version also. And I am in awe. Like, I didn't even think about that. And it sometimes it catches me off guard where I have to stop walking. I'm like, oh, that start taking notes. So that's important too. So AI should be your mirror. Um, You want it to give you a reflection of what's happening. It doesn't replace you, although it's going to enhance your thinking and move you at light speed, but it doesn't replace you. Um, so again, we did some scenarios there. Here's another example. I'm going to give you some examples and I'm going to stop, but I'm going to give you some examples. I'm not going to run all of them because I want Ronnie to get a chance to run them also. But again, for me, here's another example. Simulate 3 marketing reactions to launching a premier offer. If you
We
have an
don't see your
offer,
slides, Kat.
no, what am I showing?
You're still showing ChatGPT.
Okay. Is that better? Is that better now? Can you see it now?
No, still seeing ChatGPT.
Okay, I'm gonna stop and start again. So sorry, you guys. I have 3 screens up and I have to really caution myself because I have 3 screens in front of me. Is that better?
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Let me go back here. I have a couple examples here, and here's another one. But I mean, I can give you 50 million examples of things to do. Um, but everybody's going to have their own strategic needs. So don't think that this is a prompt you have to use. I'm just giving an example. Um, Simulate 3 market reactions to launching a premier offer. This is pretty cool because a lot of people don't think, okay, this is a great one to implement. You want to know who's enthusiastic, cautious, resistance. Why would you want to know this? Why do you want to know this if you're launching something, or if you're launching a product, service, or you're implementing a new pricing structure or a different market campaign? Why? Because now you know basically people who are enthusiastic, what they might think, are people who are cautious, so you can actually modify it and talk to the person who's cautious, or people who are resistant. I used to always say way back in the day when I taught sales and marketing, and I always still do, by the way, you should know already what people are going to say as far as I don't want it because of cost, I don't want it because of time, I don't. You should know that already so you can build it into your marketing campaign, whether it's audio, video, email, chat, whatever. Be ready for those all together. So if you have a prompt that kind of helps you to prepare for that, then you can do this. By the way, you should do this anyway. If you're selling, you should do this prompt anyway because now you know you can have pros and cons and be ready for people who have something to say, like, I don't want it. I like your company. I don't like this. Uh, you're ready for that, right? So this is a good prompt to use also. All right. So challenge assumptions. Make sure that you're able to confront bias. You can use all this to become a strategic partner by using ChatGPT to provide, objective feedback and reduce isolation as a founder because and just like you, I'm a small business owner also, right? And sometimes we are by ourselves. Sometimes I need that communication back and forth. So this is going to help you, right? So you can actually put another example of a prompt is to identify potential weaknesses and blind spots. That's a strategic thought process right there. If you get that down and work with that, that's going to help you with your business also. I'm going to stop at that point and see if there's any questions before I move forward. I know there might be a lot of questions. I'm going to stop my screen and share to see if there's anything I could, anything come through that I need to answer, Ronnie? Mm. Oh, you're muted, Ronnie. You're muted.
I said, I think you got all the questions, but I'm going to go ahead and get set up and share my screen.
All right.
Okay, so just so you know, I made this presentation in Canva, used AI to help me create it, and I'm presenting in Canva. So there's so many elements of AI that I use every day for myself and my clients, and basically you're my client for the rest of this webinar. So questions are open. Please post in chat. That's easiest for me to see while we're doing this. But today my section is on using AI to market your business and have it really sound like you. Just like Kat said, it's not replacing you. It's not replacing your voice. It's amplifying your voice. So in this day of AI, this really is me. I'm here with you today. Like I said, questions are open and I want to make this as interactive as I can. Being a digital creator, we have to be on top of all the new things that are happening with AI, and it is exciting. And I really want to share some of that excitement with you and have you get excited and realize that you can use these tools yourself for your business. I would love to connect with you on LinkedIn. I will put my LinkedIn bio URL in chat. There we go. And if you want my best tips on a semi-regular basis, sign up for my newsletter. In my newsletter, I'm talking about new things that are not quite ready for a webinar yet, but I'm playing with them and want to share that with you. Again, sometimes it's just random bits of encouragement. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about is building your brand consistent messaging, moving from just random posting every once in a while when you remember that you need to post something, and training AI on your tone. And Kat went into this in great detail, but of course I'm just going to reinforce that, how important it is to let AI know your audience and your positioning. Most important, I think, and so time saving, is repurposing your content strategically and using AI in a way that really sounds like you. So hopefully at the end of this session, you're going to leave with a simple prompt framework. Kat already gave you some great ones. A weekly content structure, a clearer way for you to guide AI, and a better understanding of how to protect your voice so that you don't end up sounding like a robot, and practical ways to create content faster without losing your quality. So the big idea is AI is not your brand voice. It's a tool that responds to your direction. If your inputs are vague, your outputs are going to be vague. If your direction is clear, your content becomes more useful and more consistent and more aligned with your business, and particularly into aligning with what your customer needs. If there's one thing to take away from what should I post about, what are your customers' pain points and how can you be the answer for that? So there's a lot of AI content that just feels generic. I'm sure you've seen a lot of it. It sounds the same because people ask for content in the same vague way. Examples: write me a LinkedIn post, or make this sound professional. The issue isn't always what tool you're using, it's often the lack of context. AI absolutely is fast, but that's not the goal. Fast content can really feel bland. That doesn't help you at all. The goal is not just speed, the goal is useful, consistent, and recognizable communication. When I say recognizable, that means I want all of your stuff to look and sound and feel like you, your brand. AI can work best when it helps you get unstuck. I get unstuck with AI a lot, thank goodness. If I have to stare at a blank sheet of paper, I start to get really nervous. Having AI that I can bounce just ramblings, ideas, just random things that I'm thinking about into concise and consistent posts, video scripts, newsletters, oh, I use it every day. It helps me even just organize my ideas. Such a time saver. And repurposing that content allows you to maintain that consistency. So your voice is part of your business asset. It's what you stand for. It's how you speak to your audience. Your audience is unique. It's what makes your business different. So why should your audience trust you? How does your communication feel? Kat was mentioning, is it warm and friendly? Is it professional and very institutional in how you speak? That's why it's important that your voice not disappear when AI enters that process. So what sounds like you, what does that actually mean? It's a lot of things, but it's your word choice, your rhythm, your point of view, your level of formality. That's what I'm saying. Is it warm and casual? Is it very professional and buttoned up? Is there a sense of humor? If any of you get my newsletters, I'm always not taking myself very seriously. When I'm talking to ChatGPT, it always says, do you want me to make this Ronnie-like or more professional today? Because it knows I like that little bit of humor. But it should always be clear and have confidence. You are the industry expert. You want to also emphasize to whatever AI you're using what you want to avoid. So before you prompt, get clear on three things. And Kat mentioned this too: who you are, who you're talking to, and what the content needs to do. If you're creating content and you're a business owner, you're marketing your business, you need a call to action. Why else are you spending all this time and energy on your content? You want the people who read it or see it to do something. That's your call to action. If those things are unclear, the results can feel pretty scattered. So you start with your positioning. What do you actually do? Who do you serve? What problems do you solve? And like I said, I think this is the main one. What makes you different from other people in your industry? And what do you want to be known for? And this can become the foundation of better prompts. So start with your audience. These are things you should know about your audience. What do they care about? What do they worry about? What are they tired of hearing? What are those generic posts about? You don't want to do that. What are they trying to figure out? And what tone will they respond to? I always say, whenever you're writing anything or saying anything in a video, you don't want to talk to somebody just like you. You might know those big industry terms, but your audience might. Your content has to be sounding like they want to hear it, not how you want to talk. So the better your audience description, the better AI can help you. So start with your tone. Friendly but professional, clear, not corporate, smart, not stiff, helpful, not pushy, practical, not hypey. Those alone can really improve your results. So what to give AI up front? Just like Kat said, I love the prompts that she gave you. That's your business description and lists your services or products and gives your target audience and your tone preferences. I also like to give it some sample messaging and your website copy because, again, this is forward facing for anybody that's looking you up online. Social captions you actually like, phrases you use often, and phrases you never want to use. Think of it as onboarding a new assistant. So a simple brand voice starter template could be, and this is different from the prompts that Kat was talking about. This is letting it know what your voice is, what you want it to write like and sound like if it's giving you video scripts. Our brand voice is clear, conversational, professional, and practical. Now, maybe yours is different than that. This is just an idea. We speak to business owners who want useful ideas without jargon or hype. I would think that kind of applies to all of us. We want our content to feel helpful, credible, and human. Again, I think we can all use that one. Avoid sounding overly salesy, robotic, or generic. Again, that's good for all of us to use. That kind of a setup gives AI a much better starting point. So what to avoid when you're asking AI or giving it prompts? A lot of times in the past, people would, when you're just learning prompting or you just type in, here's my email, make it better. Well, it doesn't know what your voice is, what your audience is. That's not going to help. Make it pop. That's going to land you right in generic. Make it professional. Okay, but does it know your audience? Make it catchy. Make it sound human. Those phrases are too open-ended and you need to give it specific direction. It's almost always going to perform better that way. So give AI examples of you at your best. Your website homepage copy. Now, this is if you are really happy with all your copy. And if you're not, give it examples of things that you do like, that you have written, that are posts or newsletters. You want to give it examples of things you've done that you like. LinkedIn posts, sales copy, brand statements, your webinar descriptions, if you're doing webinars, video scripts. AI can learn patterns from all of these real examples. Train AI with what you like and what you do not like. So give it 3 examples of writing that sounds like you. Here are 2 examples that you don't like. Don't ever do things like this. And then ask it. Remember, we're asking AI questions so it can learn more about us. Tell me what patterns you notice once you've uploaded that. And then you're going to use the strengths of the good examples moving forward. Basically, you're having it analyze the content that you're already using and asking it, see what patterns you notice and give me some ideas on how I could improve that for my specific audience. It helps AI recognize your style more clearly. So 5 ingredients to build a better prompt: your role, your audience, your goal, your tone, and the output format. And that can make a big difference if you have audience members on TikTok and on LinkedIn. You have to be a little bit different for those two. If it's Facebook and Instagram, they're very similar. But if they're as wide ranging as TikTok and LinkedIn, AI can help you format your message, your core message, for slightly different audiences. What a tool, what a time saver that is. That can give it enough structure for results without really making it overly complicated. So, the prompt framework, the easiest way is just like Kat said, take her prompt, it's perfect. Act as a marketing assistant for whatever type of business. But I would make sure that you ask the same questions that Kat mentioned. Have AI ask you more questions so that it can answer better. So even though you've asked it a question, it's turning around asking you questions. It's so it can give you the final output better. So make sure that you do let it know what tone you want it in and what phrases and tone problems or cliches that you want to avoid. So an example could be act as a marketing assistant for a boutique financial consulting firm serving growth focused business owners. Write a LinkedIn post. Now, see, this again is getting specific as opposed to write a TikTok video. The goal is to encourage smarter planning around hiring decisions. Give it direction as far as tone. Use tone that's confident, clear, warm, and practical. Avoid hype, jargon, and generic business cliches. Keep it concise and conversational. That type is going to typically outperform much better than write me a LinkedIn post about hiring.
You know what? I like to say also on the last slide that you have,
Sure, I
Ronnie,
can go back to it.
that sometimes you don't have to know everything. That's the great thing about using this as a
Correct.
strategist and a helpmate. I have had people take my slides, put that slide picture into ChatGPT and say, "This is what I'm thinking. This is the example from a picture. Please help me to write this prompt." This I and it does have to be perfect English, a detailed sentence structure. You can look at this prompt and say, okay, act as a marketing assistant for uh, a high-end photo booth company serving corporate brand marketers. Create a 5 series email because maybe I want 5 emails to go out. The goal is to encourage more customers to book our photo booths. I'm just using that company I always use, and I use a tone that is professional. So you see, I'm changing it, and I say, okay, write me this prompt. So I'm using this picture, and I could just do it this way. So you could take this prompt and modify it and say, well, ask me more questions to make sure that this prompt is complete.
And just like Kat's saying, you can take a screenshot of this, upload it to your AI that you're using, and it can read that. It can read that. The only thing it really can't do yet, and I'm sure it's going to be soon be able to, is you can't put a video up and it won't be able to figure out what's going on in the video. But a lot of times there are closed captions or a transcript that it can read from. But a screenshot, yes. So one thing that we want to touch on a little bit is to add some of those guardrails in because as Kat said, it can and does hallucinate. So don't you can ask it not to use emojis or hashtags if you don't want to include that in your content. And specifically, if you are on a platform that doesn't use hashtags these days, and most of them aren't, so you don't want to use hashtags because then it looks like you don't know what you're doing. You always want to tell it, don't sound salesy or overpromise because you do not want to be, not being able to deliver what you are saying, right? So always make sure that it knows that. I went the wrong way there. Don't use corporate jargon. This is what I was talking about earlier is that, you might know all that corporate speak, but your audience may not. Keep sentences short and in plain language and end with a soft call to action. So those guardrails kind of help protect your quality. Let's see, I see a new message here. Oh, all right. Ask AI to think in structure, not just sentences. And Kat kind of touched on this, that it will help you think beyond the original question that you asked. Give me 5 content angles on this topic. So you're not saying, give me 5 newsletters for this topic. You want 5 angles. And then you can turn that idea into a weekly series. You can identify 3 of your audience pain points and match each one of those to a post. Group those ideas by different, pillars, awareness, trust, conversion. That helps you think more strategically, and it helps your AI strategic partner think a lot more strategically. So definitely stop posting randomly. I'm guilty of this too. But random content, it sounds like, what should I post today? I need something fast, or let's say something because it's been a while. Yeah, people aren't looking at you as an industry leader if that's how you're posting. And we're all marketing our business, and I'm sure you're great at what you do and your products are amazing. You want to be seen as that industry leader. So your posts, your content should reflect that. A system for that could sound like, this week we're going to do educational posts. The next week we're going to build trust. The next week we're going to show proof, right, that we're doing a great job. And the next week we invite action. So a simply weekly content structure could be Monday, that teaching post; Tuesday, behind the scenes or perspective; Wednesday, client questions or frequently asked questions. You all know maybe your top 10 frequently asked questions, and you all probably know that 10 things people should ask, but they haven't asked yet. That's 20 ideas for posts right there. Maybe Thursday is a proof, an example, or a case study, and Friday could be, and these I intersperse in, not all the time, but absolutely they're important. Some personal insight, an invitation, or a recap. This is you saying something of value or something that you want to share. So that gives rhythm without really making your content feel repetitive. So,
I'm going to
yes,
give one more thing to add onto it, because this, by the way, you guys, that slide that she just had, you guys should take that slide,
I'm gonna
like
go
we
back
talked
to it. There
about.
we go.
That's a great slide, by the way, because if you take that, because this is a simple structure, but it's spot on. Because I'm going to high five you on this, Ronnie, because a teaching post about the business behind the scenes so they can get connected with your business, client question or FAQs. This is a structure where it's educating, but it's creating um, a connection with your client. Case studies, behind the scenes. Yes, I see you guys giving a thumbs up. This is really important. Take this, put it in your AI tool that you're using, and say, okay, help me come up with a weekly structured content based upon all the stuff you told it already, right? Help me to generate some ideas, work with me, ask me some questions. I want to add to that tool here, and I'm going to put it in here in the chat, keywordtool.io. I don't know if you guys have used keywordtool.io, but if you type in, for instance, if I type in something like sell photo booth experiences, my business example, it will give me all the questions that people ask. That will help you develop the FAQs
And
because
I'm
it has
glad
a
that
question
you
section.
mentioned keywords, because in opposed to the old ways of using hashtags, now what is working for search is keywords and key phrases, specifically how people are actually putting that question into the search bar. So ChatGPT is a search engine, YouTube is a search engine, of course there's Google,
Hmm.
but how people actually ask that question, if you can rephrase that or use that exact phrase in your
Yes.
content, definitely helps the algorithms pick it up and show it to
Well,
more people.
and here's a question to everybody out there. Listen up, because I'm giving you something that is going to help you with what Ronnie's talking about. If you go to keywordtool.io, I put the link down there, and you put in, like, for instance, let's say I'm doing photo booth activations. That's what I want to see. What people would you like to read the crystal ball and figure out what questions people are asking? Well, if you go in there and type it in and click on the questions, there's a section that says questions there. All the questions in that area is listed, so you can answer those questions. Now you have content to go with what she gave. So you have to figure out that you know what people are asking. So now you can answer the questions in any one of these teaching posts, behind the scenes, FAQ. So try it out, you guys. That's gold, Ronnie. That's gold. What you
And
gave her.
that link is too. Definitely. Keywords, key phrases, no hashtags. Okay. What if Monday is your teaching post? So if you're again, if you're a marketer, one marketing mistake I see all the time. And these kind of lead with a hook too, so that's something also to be conscious about. What about what small business owners misunderstand about video? 3 ways to make your content more consistent. As humans, we love numbers, we love odd numbers. AI can help brainstorm, outline, and draft those really quickly. So if Tuesday is your behind the scenes or your perspective day, this is where your voice becomes more visible. What I'm noticing in the market or in my industry, right? A lesson from client work, a common misconception, a personal perspective on a business challenge, right? I've made posts like that before. And I made a post about, we do video production. I made a post about my first video was a disaster. I had music playing, the dog was barking. It was very exposing myself. I'm supposed to be this industry expert that knows what I'm doing, but the first time I did not know what I'm doing. The first time you probably won't know what you're doing. And really a post like that is just saying it's okay. That first one, just post it anyway. You'll be surprised how you being you really can boost your engagement. Those posts make your brand feel more human. What about FAQ content? Frequently asked questions. Well, you need to identify your core FAQs. So, what is a question that clients would always ask before they hire you? You can make a post about that question. What does your audience often misunderstand? And what do people need explained simply? I think a lot of business owners need AI explained pretty simply. So that's our goal here today, is to get you excited, see the possibility, and be here to answer questions and make it as simple as we can for you. So AI can repurpose one frequently asked questions into a post, a short video script, a caption, even an email paragraph. So Thursday, we talked about it being your proof or an example. So this can be a mini case study, a before and after example, a lesson you learned from a recent project, a process you used, a result tied to a practical takeaway. AI can help you organize the story, but the details should be real, and those have to come from you. Again, emphasize that human input. So Friday's a personal insight or invitation. It can be a founder's perspective or your perspective, a weekend review, an event invitation, a soft call to connect, a reminder about what you offer. This is where the personality and clarity really work the best together. One core idea can become so many different assets. It can be a LinkedIn post, an Instagram caption, an email intro, a video script, a blog outline, a webinar talking point, a carousel draft. Repurposing is easier when the original idea is strong. Typically, I will start with longer form content, whether that is a white paper for LinkedIn, email newsletter, a video script, and then we start cutting it down, and I can have content all month from one strong idea. And that's repurposing with intention. So knowing what the different platforms need. Like I said, LinkedIn's very different from TikTok. But what if you have audience on both? Then you got to be posting for both. So what does that platform, that specific platform need? Well, TikTok should be a video. Probably should be you, face on camera, talking head video. LinkedIn, the video is still very, very important, but it looks a lot different than the TikTok videos. More professional, more you're giving your best advice. So it could have the same message, just be two different ways of presenting it, and AI can help you do that. And to know what format works best. Is it a vertical video for, say, most of the social? Is it a horizontal video for if you're going to run it on your website? And should it sound more polished or conversational? The message can stay consistent while the delivery of it changes.
We have a
What?
good question from Gail. We have a great question. Gail, thank you for these great questions. You guys don't be afraid to ask because it's
Absolutely.
really important to get your questions answered. And what is a white paper?
So a white paper in very general terms, and Kat, you chime in, but typically is an essay that you are an expert on. You're an expert on XYZ, and you're going to write an essay as if you're writing an article for a magazine, giving your viewpoint on a particular topic, posting that on LinkedIn. That would be the normal place. You're going to do a white paper, put there, but that could easily be your blog post for the month, right? It could easily be your newsletter. It's just a way to phrase that same, it's long form content. Kat, do you have
And it
anything to add on
positions you
that?
as a yeah, it positions you as a subject matter expert, which is really cool because
Yes,
now you are positioning yourself as a thought leader. And
yes,
so think about the things, and you might want to ask, hey, I want to position myself as a thought leader. This could be a prompt. Could you recommend the white papers, a list of white papers that I can develop so that I can be the subject matter expert and my thought leader in my field and use it on my website? Or you can say, how can I use it? I think I could use it on
perfect.
LinkedIn. I could use it on my blog. How else would you suggest I use it?
Your
And as
newsletter.
yes, right. And as Ronnie said, you could repurpose that because you could create a TikTok post at a point to that white paper one week. You could create a uh, a uh, a video that can point to it. You could repurpose that kind of content where it points to all the time. Now you're getting traffic in your blog or YouTube
And it
video.
doesn't even have to point to that specific one. You can take elements of it and make unique posts to it.
Yes.
But if you do have it on your blog, absolutely take a little section of it out for your video and say, for more, read our blog, right?
Mhm.
So that's how you
Mhm.
could absolutely repurpose blog information or white
Absolutely.
paper. Yes. Okay, so here's an example of smart repurposing. So just like we talked about, you start with a LinkedIn post, establishing yourself as a thought leader. Then you could make that an Instagram caption, really concise and use some sort of visuals for that. What about an email intro? Practical, warm, a video script, direct, conversational, and a blog. So you've started with a LinkedIn post. Look at all the other content that you got. It can help adapt the same idea without making every version identical, which again, such a time saver.
Ronnie, Gail came back again. I love her questions. You guys keep them coming because this makes it really interesting. So is blogging still relevant? I remember when I was teaching at the university, it was so many articles. This was like 30 years ago. Blogging is dead. 20 years ago, blogging is dead. They've been killing blogging for a long time. I'm gonna let Ronnie answer this question. Is blogging dead?
Just like Kat said, it's people keep saying it's dead. What was it, Mark Twain that said, the rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. It's something like that. I apologize if that's not who said it, but it's a way to get your content to, it's going to live on your website, right? If you post on LinkedIn, that post moves. If you make a video, it's gone. YouTube is another great place for evergreen content, but we're saying a blog, if you have it on your website, that you can actually use for SEO. And SEO is a whole nother webinar, but yes, there is absolute still value in blogs.
Absolutely, Gail. The question is so. I love your question because they've been killing blogs for a long time. You probably read it, but the whole thing is that a long time ago when these young whippersnappers started with these WordPress blogs, people were disrespecting them. They were like, "Oh, the blogs are for kids and they're not professional and blah blah blah." Well, I'm just going to tell you one other reason why she said SEO, but let me tell you why. Because old stale websites that haven't been updated, when Google scans the website, it says this is an old website. I don't need to really show it because it's outdated, it's old, there's nothing new. But when you blog and it shows your website as
It's
relevant,
active.
changing,
Yes.
it's active. So the search engine results are better that way. And when the algorithm passes over your website, it says, relevant content, keywords, good. When people search for it, that's what they're finding things like this. So I love your question, Gail. Right on point. Thank you.
So you want to train AI on the differences on the different platforms. But I got to tell you, it's pretty savvy on those differences just to begin with. But LinkedIn should feel more insight driven and more professional. Instagram, concise, very visual. Email should feel direct and warm and readable. When I say readable, don't just put one big paragraph, give spaces between the sentences, use bullet points. You want to make it easy to scan. Most people are seeing all of your stuff on their phone these days. Video script should sound natural when you're saying it out loud. When you read that script, if it doesn't sound like something that you would say, rewrite it. Blog content should be clear and useful and organized. Okay, so how to use AI for your first ideas. You don't always need AI to write that final draft, but I like to start using it when I'm coming up with something I have to do. It can help generate headline options. It can brainstorm hooks with you. And when I say brainstorm and with you, that's how I mean it. It's a conversation that goes back and forth. Just like Kat says, she's talking to it. I do that all the time. Helps you organize ideas, create outlines, turn a voice memo into talking points, can help you build a content calendar. So I definitely think that's one of the smartest ways to use it. And you can use it for, drafting, captions, post captions, email intros, call to action variations, blog outlines, the language for your speaker intro. Again, that language should be what you've already decided. It's how your audience wants to hear. It can write video scripts, those starting points for you. The key is to edit from a strong starting point, not to publish blindly. I always say, don't take anything any AI has given you, just click it, send it. No, put your own experience and expertise on it because it can and it does make mistakes. All right. And how to use it for editing. You can say, tighten this up. I like that nowadays it will actually do that, give me that option to begin with. For example, I had to write a session description for another webinar. It gave me a long one that sounded great. I was like ready to go. And then at the bottom it says, and here's a shorter version if you need it. It was very concise. It was actually a little bit better. I didn't even have to ask. So once you start working with it, it's going to know really what you have asked for before. You can have it make it more conversational. Like I said, I use ChatGPT. It says, do you want a version that sounds more Ronnie-like? I'm like, yes, please. It can remove that jargon. It can keep your meaning, but improve the clarity. And you can shorten it for social media. Those social media posts, the description should be very short. You can turn it into a stronger opening. You can have it make a hook. A hook is just something that gets people to stop the scroll when they're looking at all that other content on their phone. You can have it give you call to action options that fit the tone of your business. Editing is absolutely something that I use it for every day.
I want you to do, Ronnie, you said you use it every day. You
Yes,
use it, and you're an expert, and you've been doing this before AI,
absolutely.
and you've been doing this before AI. You are a marketing expert. I've seen your work. I've seen the results. You've been doing this before AI, and you still use it. So I'm saying it because it makes you move at light speed ahead,
So much
right?
faster, so
Yeah.
much faster. And I was telling my husband the other day, it's doing things that I would have to work with an associate to do or hire an outside, firm to do because I didn't know how to do that thing, but I knew what to do with that thing. So now
Oh
AI can
yeah.
do that thing for me, but I know how to use it and I know
And
how to
it's a
use it
lot
for my
less
clients.
expensive. I mean,
Oh,
I spend
right.
$60 a month for my chat GPT because I buy the package, but some people use it for $20. You cannot get that. I've had personal assistants that I paid a lot more, and I had to tell them,
And it's
hey,
twenty
can you
dollars a
please use
month. Yeah, or
yeah,
$60
yeah,
a month.
yeah, yeah.
Amazing return on investment, because I use it for myself, for all my personal stuff, and I use it for my clients. And I'm very open with them. I say, I utilize AI tools to make your content better.
Absolutely. And it is fantastic, you guys. It just, I would pay for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, somebody was asking in chat what price tier. So you're saying you use a 60. Right now I'm using the 20. I use a different tool also, Manus, and I'm using the 60 on that. But the entry level, but I definitely think the paid version night and day over the free version.
Oh
But
God, yeah.
the entry
Oh
level
God, yeah.
paid versions do amazing. Do amazing.
$20 is fine. I just use it because I do a lot more because I have a lot of things I'm doing, but I run out. But 20 is fine, by the way.
Yes, yeah.
Fine.
And just like I said, it should not be the final decision maker. You put your own personal experience and expertise on every piece of content that it's giving you. Does it sound like you? Is it accurate? And that's a big one. Is it too polished? That's going to make it not sound like you. Is anything missing, right? Is it useful to your audience? And would you actually say that? Everything that it gives me, I kind of read out loud, because if it doesn't sound like me, I'm going to have it redo it. This is your final pass, and this is what makes your voice stay intact. So here's some red flags that content can feel too AI. Generic openings. Oh my gosh, how many times have you said, I hope you're doing well? Okay, AI wrote that, right? Come on. Repetitive sentence structure, too many buzzwords, overly polished language. Yeah, I am not an overly polished content writer, so my content better not sound like that. Is there empty encouragement? Now, I got to caveat that, because every once in a while, ChatGPT will encourage me or give me a compliment, and I take it. So I'm happy with that part that it does. Yeah, absolutely. I don't care if it's an AI pat on the back. I like, oh, okay, good. What if there's weak specificity? And if it's giving advice that anybody could give, and that tone, you don't want it to sound like everybody else. So those are just cues that you can use to know that it's better to revise and not publish. So phrases that often need revision. So these are some phrases that AI uses a lot. So you don't want to use these. In today's fast-paced world, elevate your brand. Yeah, no. Unlock your potential. Game changing. Leverage. Seamless. Cutting edge. Take your business to the next level. Not every phrase is always wrong, but too many of them are really going to flatten your voice. So,
Brandy, there's a question
yes.
from Sam. Do you have a prompt you can share for marketing? Sam, that's a very vague insight. Really, truly, it is a there's no one prompt for everybody.
But
I
I would
think
use the structure that Kat gave you, and
Mhm.
and and put that in as your prompt, and then with the template that Kat gave you, say that you want it for marketing. It will ask you the
Mhm.
questions that it needs to give you a better answer. So
For
using
your business.
yeah, so using the structure that Kat gave you, just plug in that you want answers about marketing. And it's going to ask you questions because that's what you want. You want it to know your business. So, a better review process when you're looking at what it's given you, is it specific? Is it useful? Is it aligned with your audience? Is the tone right? And is something that you'd actually say, does it sound confident but not sound fake? And just that little quick review can really improve the writing style. Okay, so your starter prompt framework. Help me create content for whatever your business type is, our audience is. And again, this falls right in line with what Kat gave you. The goal, use a tone. And like I said, I would add this in to the prompt Kat gave you, what tone you want it to talk in, and what phrases to avoid, and then what format you want it for. That's just a reliable starting point. So your weekly workflow could be choose one core topic, brainstorm 3 to 5 angles on that topic, pick one main message, draft that core piece of content. Remember your long form content. Then you're going to repurpose that into smaller pieces. You're going to schedule and review them. That keeps you consistent without burning out because AI is doing a lot of that work for you. So, your minimum viable content system, if you want to keep it simple, you can aim for one core idea a week, one teaching post, one supporting short post, and one email mention. It's enough to stay visible and useful without overwhelming your schedule. Now, do you need an email every week? No, some businesses do. A real standard for most businesses once a month. So you could even just do the email once a month. So,
I love that.
what to do this week? Your immediate next steps. Write down your tone in 3 to 5 words. Define your audience more clearly. Gather 3 examples of content that sounds like you, that you like. Try that simple prompt framework that Kat gave you, and then build your first weekly content structure. My final thought is AI works best when you bring the strategy. Your voice, point of view, and experience are still the most important things of value. Thank you so much for joining us today. I know I had a great time with you, and I just love that we have this time together. So we have a few minutes. I want to really open it up for questions. Anything that you have for Kat or myself, go ahead and start posting in chat.
I love it. And we love to answer questions. This is the best part about it. I love the interaction. I did post 2 documents. I didn't know they were going to post. I thought I was going to, I'm used to another way we do it. So forgive me, you guys, because I posted 2 documents. And I want to make sure if you guys type a 1, if you got the 2 documents I put in, I gave you two
I see them.
documents
They
and a
went to
link.
everybody, Kat. They went
Okay,
to
what's everybody?
everybody.
I thought it was going to get a chance to send it afterwards. So I was loading them up and they went right away. So I apologize. I didn't mean to send them right away. But there's 2 documents that I posted that you should have there. And so download those. Those will show you. And I'll kind of share right screen while you guys are writing your questions. Um, I'm going to go ahead and show what we have here.
I'll stop share so you can show.
All right. I think we should have it here. Did you guys see that one there? Let me see here.
You're
Okay,
not
here we
sharing
go.
yet.
Okay, there we go. All right, so this is the business context. So this one here will help you um, to actually ask questions so that you can identify. You could take this document, load it up into ChatGPT, and say use this document and ask me questions one at a time to define my business overall, so that you can understand my business. You can just do that simply. You don't have to big words, not have to use it. Look, load that document and say, use this as an example to ask me all the questions necessary to understand my business. And then from there, you can start doing the marketing questions and doing this. It needs to know your business first. So this basically has layer 1, layer 2, your ideal client profile, your brand positioning and voice, your business priorities right now. What are they? Constraints and boundaries, decision styles. It's going to take a lot from us. You can just load this document up and say, okay, ask me one layer at a time. Ask me questions to help define my business, my tone, etc. Right? Just load it up. That's it.
And
That's
Mohammed
one
had a
thing.
good question in chat. He wanted you to talk a little bit about if I guess if he could have a cultural bias in their postings. What he means is an international flavor based on experience. I would say yes. I think that that
Yeah,
is working in your favor. What do you
yeah,
think, Kat?
yeah. I agree. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree.
That's who you are. That's
Absolutely.
the experience and expertise you bring. And if
Mm-hmm.
that is what your audience is looking for, that sets you up as that industry leader.
Absolutely. AI is fabulous. I'm gonna tell you guys a side note, just a fun note, while you guys are writing in questions. I wanted to lose weight. I recently lost a lot of weight. I'm not going to embarrass myself to say how much weight loss, but I lost a lot of weight. And I've been talking to ChatGPT in the same chat the whole time. It knows me, and it knows I want a cupcake every now and then. So I get my little cupcake right. And so I lost some weight, and I was talking, hey, I lost some weight, and I did this, and I want to have a cupcake. I always have discussion. Can I have a cupcake? Blah blah blah. Believe it or not, and I lost over 100 pounds, a lot of weight. So anyway, and so one day I was struggling and I was like, oh, I want to lose more weight. And I hit a little plateau. And it's like, well, you're not going to gain weight. But if you hadn't ate that cupcake, it talked back to me. it says you hadn't ate that cupcake, cat. So it remembers if you're talking the same. My point is talking the same chat, and it's going to communicate with you. But I'm telling you, it. I know a lot of people are out of business for weight loss because I'm gonna say this to give it. I lost 50 something pounds using ChatGPT. Okay, of course, there's willpower too. Okay, but I'm telling you, I asked it to give me my macros, they asked me the right questions, and I've been following it, putting things in. I know people have lost business over this because I don't have to use all those other things. It tells me all kind of things and makes up recipes. It is detailed. So if you feed it information and keep that conversation, you'll start different chats. Stay in the same area, and it's gonna help you. I don't think we have any more questions. Any more questions? Oh, here it is. Here it is.
How do you, Bonnie's
Oh,
asking, how do you get the worksheets?
oh, you know what? Maybe I should just load them again. So I
Yeah,
will
she'll
load them
load them
again.
again, so your chat will be active now that you've logged back in.
Mhm. Okay, here's one right now. So everybody, if you didn't download it, there's one going in, and the other one is going in right now. There you go. You should have both.
So, yeah, so you can download them, or you can go to the three little dots at the right side of chat on the bottom, and you can save the chat. So everything that Kat posted will save. But I would go ahead and click them and download them right now if you can.
Now, let me clarify, Bonnie. They can't see each other's questions. They
Correct.
can't see.
They see what we post to everyone, but they just can't see each other's.
Oh, okay, okay. Will it be available tomorrow, Ronnie? Do you know if this will be available tomorrow?
The presentation and the slides typically go out within 1 or 2 days, and it comes directly from SCORE.
Okay. All
Perfect.
right. Well,
Thank
you
you
guys have
so
been
much.
awesome. We appreciate you so much. You guys are awesome. Look forward to seeing you at the next session.
Absolutely. Have a great evening, everybody. Bye.
Bye.